Hi, hello, bonjour. I'm Richard and this is Rich Languages. Today we're talking about my top 10 tips for learning languages. So let's go. Number one, firstly, be patient. Languages take time. Uh, you have to be understanding that this is a long-term project. Do not expect to learn a language in 1 month, 6 months, even 1 year. This is going to take a long time. It's a process. It doesn't matter who you are, your background. I don't believe people who say they can learn a language in 2-3 months. It's just not possible if your goal is to go from complete beginner to what most people describe as fluent, that being able to understand long texts, able to watch the news or watch other films without subtitles, things like that. It's going to take time. Just stick at it and eventually it will come. Just be patient with yourself. Number two, welcome this idea of not knowing things. Especially when you first start, you are going to come across texts and listening exercises in which you do not understand everything. I've been learning German for 13, 14 years now, and I still don't understand everything. Almost every week I'm still looking up words. You will never know every word in the language. You don't know every word in your own language, even no matter how much time you've spent studying it, there will always be something that you don't know. So just embrace this because it's going to be part of the process, and so we should go in with this mindset that, yeah, we're not going to know everything, and that's okay. That's just part of the fun. It's the discovery of the language. Number three, I would say, is similar to the last point. Welcome this idea of making mistakes. Especially when you speak, this can feel quite personal and quite difficult when someone sort of maybe corrects you or maybe has a joke because you said something which was wrong. But this again is part of the process. Forget your ego. Leave it at the door. It's not about being the best. It's not about being perfect. It's just about trying. And you will find that the person who waits to speak until they're absolutely perfect often will make a lot slower progress than the person who just keeps trying and trying and trying. They make mistakes, people correct them, but they don't care because they're learning. So let's embrace this idea of making mistakes. Number four, go and live in the country where the language is spoken. Of course, this is not possible for everyone, I understand, but from personal experience, this is what has taken me from okay at a language to advanced at a language. If you can't live in the country for any reason, which most people I accept probably can't, at least try to book a trip to the country, whether it's a holiday or any other reason. If you can get to the country and start reading, listening and speaking the language every day because it's all around you, this means you don't have to motivate yourself to study or to go to a class because it's just all around you. You can't avoid it. So this is probably the best way if possible, but I don't want to say one way is the best. There's lots of different ways for different people, but get to the country, that will certainly help. Number five, something that has also helped me personally is teach the language. Even if you're not very advanced at the language, you don't have to be. You just have to have some knowledge of the language. Because if you have some knowledge, you probably have more knowledge than someone else. So if you are intermediate at, say, Spanish, you could teach me Spanish because I don't speak Spanish. If you speak Arabic, you could definitely teach me something because I don't speak any Arabic. Even if you only studied it for 1 year and you've forgotten a lot. Teaching a language helps you to work on your accent, helps you to be a role model in that language, and it helps you to sort of review the basics, especially if you're teaching at a beginner level. But With any knowledge, you can teach a little bit. So that's another great way. Number 6, I would say understand your own motivation. Why do you want to learn the language? We learn if we want to learn. If you're not really up for this, if you're not sure about what your motivation is or why you're learning, you're probably not going to stick at it for very long. You have to have a clear goal in mind. That is a simple, I think that's true for almost anything in life, but certainly for a language. Is it maybe you need it for your work and you want to be able to give a presentation in that language professionally? Maybe you want to go on holiday to that country and be able to order food in a restaurant, or just have a chat with the locals. The goal doesn't have to be extremely specific, but have some kind of goal in your mind. If you can, get a community. What I mean by this is it could be a class, it could be your family, your friends, it could be a tandem partner, so someone who speaks that language, who lives near you, and you help them with your native language, maybe English, and they speak to you in their native language. But having people around you who are supportive of your goal, that keeps you accountable. Again, this is true for lots of things in life, but certainly for languages as well. You might not feel like speaking the language or practicing every day. Even I don't, and I love languages. But if someone else says to you, right, we're meeting up now because we've got an appointment to practice our French today, then that's going to help with your motivation. It will keep you coming back. Another one, number 8, mix up the methods. So what I mean by this is don't always necessarily practice with reading exercises or always with podcasts and listening to the language. These are both important things. Speaking is also important. You can write. In languages, we look at speaking, listening, writing, reading. Try to get a good variety of all 4 methods. One, it's going to be less boring for you. It's going to be more interesting. And 2, it's going to be probably more productive in your overall learning process. So mix it up, have some fun. And number 9, little and often. What I mean by this is you don't need to sit down for 3 or 4 hours studying a language. You don't need to read grammar books if you don't want to. 20 minutes a day, half an hour a day, this can be enough, provided that it's regular. So I think when people start learning languages, they think, oh, it is really hard, I need to spend lots of time on it. You probably do need to spend lots of time on it, but over a long period of time, not all in one day. Keep your life on the outside. It's all about balance. And like the last point, mix it up. Do 20 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe an hour, as much as you feel like doing, but don't push yourself too hard if you're not enjoying it. This brings me to my final point number 10, and probably the most important point: have fun. Have fun. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, if you're not having fun with the language, why are you doing it? Again, this comes down to the motivation thing. For me, languages have to be something which can be connected with fun. Again, when you're learning anything, if it's not fun, we struggle to motivate ourselves. If you're just making yourself do long exercises, your motivation's not going to last very long, and you're going to start associating the negative experience, the boring experience, with the language, and then you will soon lose motivation. Make it personally relevant to you. Read, listen, talk about things that you're interested in, and then it will be fun. You know what's fun for you. Do those things, just do them in the other language, and you'll find that the motivation then isn't even a problem, because you're just doing things that are fun. Okay, those were my top 10 tips for learning another language. So just to recap, be patient, have a long-term mindset, welcome this idea of not knowing things, it's okay. Again, making mistakes is absolutely okay. That's part of the process, so leave your ego behind. Live in the country if possible, or if not, go to the country. Teach the language, even if you only have a small knowledge, that's better than nothing. Understand your own motivation, understand clearly why you're doing it. Get a community behind you, some friends, family, or otherwise any people, teacher, class behind you who can help you. Mix up the methods, so don't always do the same thing, keep it fresh. A little bit every day, and most importantly, have fun, enjoy it. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to Rich Languages, and I'll see you soon. Bye!